Hello, and welcome to the Kink Perspective. My name's Chris. I'm a psychotherapist and consultant. On this episode, I'm going to talk about a common misconception that seems to make the rounds quite often on social media. Every time I hear this phrase or even read it, for me, it informs me of the lack of experience the person saying this has within the community and how much people have to actually learn about the lifestyle itself. It's the notion that submission is somehow a gift. Then this is usually followed up by other tropes such as any man that does not see the value of this does not deserve this gift, or if my gift is not respected, I'll take it back. It's a terrible metaphor and one that should be removed from our lexicon's BDSM. Submission, like domination, is only one half of the power exchange cycle and negotiation. There is another similar phrase that's just as ridiculous. That phrase being, "You're so lucky to have found me," or "You're so lucky to have met me." Again, this phrase is inherently flawed because both parties found each other. Now, I don't want to stray too much and start talking about luck and finding someone and meeting someone. I really want to focus on why we get caught up in this belief of submission being a gift. What we need to understand first about equating your submission to the quality of a gift and what that means. When you put a marker value on yourself, you devalue the person you are. A gift is a premise. It's something freely given. There's no reciprocations expected. A gift is given with the knowledge that it will not be, hopefully that it is returned or at the very least regifted. Think about a birthday gift or a Christmas present. When you're giving this to someone, you're not going to give it to them and then months later show back up at their home and take the gift back. Or a birthday gift that you were hoping they were going to use it has gone and sit unused on its shelf because the person isn't interested in using it right now. You have no control over the way someone uses a gift because it's given freely. There are no social conventions on whether or not they have to do anything with your gift. A gift can't be taken back by the giver if someone decides to misuse it, as I've said. A gift is also not earned through a series of tasks. I've never wanted nor asked for a gift that comes with strings attached to how I use it or what I can do with my gift. It's not like I become obliged to how I use the gift in a certain respect or in a certain way. If it was freely given, I can do anything I want with it. That includes doing nothing, putting this gift on the shelf and getting it out or using it when I see fit, or even not at all. What type of dominant would one be if someone offered or gifted their submission to that dominant, and then that same dominant did nothing with it? That would be a cataclysmic failure of the dynamic bond and a complete waste of time from all parties involved. Also, if I decided to give the gift freely given to me to someone else, I would be breaking the bonds of consent and trust. Unless you've pre-negotiated that type of into your relationship, and we might be getting into some other type of situations, but then we're no longer talking about a dynamic situation between two people. These would also be inherently massive violations within the guidelines that we all follow. I don't know too many couples within the lifestyle that have negotiated this into their dynamic. When I last looked, submission is not any of those things. So then why do so many equate it to this level? To make things worse, the people espousing this phrase consistently seem to believe that they're somehow in control or maintain the power within their dynamic by merely uttering this phrase. More often than not, they have no control, are quite often single, and don't really understand the power exchange dynamic at all, because if they did, they would understand why this phrase wouldn't work. We would allow ourselves to become entangled by phrases that seem catchy and make sense, which further denotes the lack of understanding that most people seem to have within the lifestyle. As we're starting to see the more and more influxes of the 50 Shades crowd, they're no longer going and attending classes and learning about the lifestyle from their local community, dungeons, or even attending munches to start understanding maybe what the lifestyle is all about. They're just identifying in their own determinate way of what they are, what that means to them, and then going ahead and proceeding to start dictating to everyone else. This is why this becomes awfully confusing when we constantly hear these phrases being said. So, this can lead to the line of thought that we're only seeing things in a non-agreed to black and white condition of BDSM. That the negotiation between consenting adults becomes a foregone conclusion, because if it can be removed, if I don't like how the gift I gave you is being used, then then there is no point to a negotiation. Furthermore, there wouldn't be a contract or even consent. Then what you gave me is not a gift, but truly it's actually a condition. That means it's not a relationship or dynamic. It's a set of parameters that one has to meet, or the party will remove the gift at their discretion. I keep reading that dominants have to earn their partner's submission. If that's the case, what then is it the submissive is earning from the dominant? If their submission is a gift, what benefit is the submissive receiving, if any, from the dominant or the dynamic? Not everyone wants the full-time job of training or being trained in the DS lifestyle. Some of the rigors we go through can be tedious and trying, but that is part of being and doing within the community, learning. You don't evolve and understand and grow your craft or your role by just declaring you are something. I can't call myself a mechanic without ever fixing a car. Now, I can believe I'm a mechanic. I can understand the process of what mechanics do. I might even have the mechanic's tools. But it doesn't mean I'm qualified to be a mechanic, to work on a car. So, again, I'm kind of digressing a little bit. We need to understand that the learning and evolving the dynamic comes with learning and evolving with each other, with understanding what we like as a kink, and then actively pursuing and understanding the knowledge behind it. Maybe going to an exhibition where they're doing demonstrations on something we like. If all there is a consistent worry or presupposition that a gift can be rescinded, what will we be doing in a DS relationship in the first place? We are then, in my opinion, no longer enjoying the lifestyle, but making it exhausting and non-fun, let alone adding in a massive amount of stress if at any moment we're just thinking someone doesn't like what we're doing with what's been gifted to us, and they're now going to rescind that offer. So, if submission is not a gift, how can we define it? For me, in the simplest of terms, submission is one half of the equation of negotiation, because everything that is done within the lifestyle and inside of it has to be negotiated. Our community, our world, revolves around negotiation. Without negotiation, everything is pointless, non-consenting, even sometimes assault. So for those of you that may have missed what I said or misunderstood what I've said, everything we do in the BDSM community revolves around negotiation. You're not going to touch someone if you don't negotiate with them. You're not going to spank them or tie them or get involved with interrogation scenes or spanking. You're not going to do electro-torture, not unless you've consented and negotiated to do so. I do know there are some that are going to disagree with my next statement. I firmly believe that both parties have inherent power within the power exchange dynamic. And if you've not consented and or negotiated a part of you to someone else, then that part of you that hasn't been negotiated away, the power of that remains with you. I personally discuss this time and time again, that before you decide to get involved in your first, maybe even your next DS dynamic, to consider deeply about what power you want to cede to another person, what you've learned and what to want to learn more with someone else, how you want to train, what each other's expectations are, and what aspects of submission mean to you. This will help avoiding some confusion, I believe, especially for all parties involved, and help get over the bumpier aspects of the beginning that are not quite so fun parts, and can also hinder dynamics from time to time. We all have a right to judge and determine who will be the best fit to be in our lives and who will be our potential partners for the future, even if it's something short and just the interim. Starting out with demands and oversight, for me, is more like topping from the bottom. We either want to go into a relationship on equal footing. Positions and roles are different, though, but we can still be seen as equal. If we're at a point where that assumption is no longer valid, then you have to truly consider the person you are with and whether or not they're the person for you. Conversely, if you're constantly judging whether or not your dominant is behaving in a manner befitting your gift to them, you may want to step back and reevaluate what you truly want out of a lifestyle, or if you even want to be in a relationship at all. If you're only waiting for something to go wrong and just to yank that gift back. These are some serious thoughts and questions to really consider, especially when we get involved in a world where we are talking about negotiated and consented hurt, right? Hurt and harm being different. And those differences will be discussed on a different episode. But when we're talking about emotions, consent, even our sexuality, these are private and reserved things that we feel within the insides of ourselves that we're only going to open up and share with someone special. But we're not really sharing or opening up ourselves if there's always a condition that we're placing on it. Again, some more things for you to think about and consider. Until next time, be safe and stay kinky.